I am really excited to share with you what Callum has for you today, because if you are a smart fitness professional, if you want to grow a fitness business, not just to $100,000 a year, because that's still great, that's a great goal. But if you want to build a seven-figure business, and really importantly, if you want to be able to build a business that can last without you doing all the work, that you can actually go away, go on holidays, be able to do other things, and you still money is going to come into your bank account. Clients are going to get coached, leads come in, sales get made, and that's not you actually doing it, then you're going to want to be able to soak up everything Callum has for you today. Cal, thank you so much for jumping on this chat, dude. I'm really pumped to share what you're doing today.
Let's get it, bro. I'm super keen as well.
All
so
right.
much love to give.
Let's lay the foundation right now. Let's go back to the start. How did everything actually start with Young Gunz, your business today?
The very start, from the first time I walked in the personal training gym.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, sweet. I was very first, like once I finished high school and whatnot, and I was already in the fitness industry, worked with 10, 15 clients a week in my little hometown. We grew up in a little hometown with only 1,500 people in it. Up here, so if it's a bit loud, sorry, I'm just at a coffee shop on the street, so there's cars and stuff going by. That's the beauty of being able to do what I do is we can be here at the coffee shop. But anyway, so I started off just training in the gym as a personal trainer, and I realised like there was obviously like realising what that model looked like. So it was a really good stuff. I come across Chris's ads first, like kind of articulating what I was going through when it comes to like time for money, what I was doing with my clients, how I could have had better freedom with it. And so I actually started with you, Chris, in May 2017, and kind of pulled the trigger. You back then in your role as well, like from your growth now, like you were doing everything. You know, you did the triage, you did the sales, you did the coaching and everything. P.S. What the cartel is now today is like 20x to what it was back then. So on the growth line, and what we went through is kind of looked at, what that model looked like, what the vision looked like. It was 3 months you're currently rocking. So you really helped me understand like the fundamentals of actual what it needed to do, like with marketing flow. So understanding clients' problems, what it looked like to grow online, even running basic things through funnels, how a system began to approach, and it helped me realize at the time that there was massive growth out there and I needed to understand the system. So after dropping my last $1,500 into the coaching program back then, I was 18 working at a Samios plumbing supplies in Australia. So it's a hardware. So I was working that, plus I did my PTs in early morning, later evening, because it was kind of my side hustle with my 10 clients that I was working with. It was like $40 an hour even as well. It's a small country town. So after I took home my $650 a week for 40 hours of work at Samios plumbing supplies, there come a point in the business growth where like I was building the systems with you, where I was like, there's something has to give here, like for me to be able to put the time in it. That was the next risk for me to weigh up through that time. And during that time as well, like, we got in 7 days in, and back then you run the like 7 days love or leave it. And like, I fucking freaked at 6 days because, like $500 to me back then was a huge investment, as some people probably watching this will feel as well. Like, money's valuable, especially if you're in a tight financial circumstance. But when you got on the call with me, you just reassured me, like, dude, like, these steps and these systems that you're going to go through, like, this is going to help you get the ultimate growth. And I think back now, Chris, like, and we'll talk about like kind of where that growth was, but me, even, let's say I did nothing. Let's say I didn't do any launch. I didn't even make a cent, like, from what we did. Just having an environment which created the level of awareness of what was possible. Do you know how valuable that is in its sense? Do you know how many people are just trapped under the doona covers and don't actually realize what the capacity is? So it's like, I'm saying, even if it flops, like, let's say I didn't make a sale, everything didn't work out, I would still, to this day right now, if I hadn't built a business, know there's people out there that can do it, and that there is capacity to grow to that. And having that knowledge, like, I would have not settled, whether it was coaching and fitness, I would have not settled in wanting to actually grow and build something out. Does that make sense?
Totally, dude.
It's like, just having that level of awareness was worth enough. So you kind of really lie with me, so I wanted out. It's funny, as we were looking at the other day, we still had the emails of yourself, my communication to you, and Lily at the time, aka Lauren, who was doing the accounts back then, of me wanting to pull out and whatnot. And so we were working really hard on it, got to our weeks 8, and something had to give. So that's when I looked at, you and I had planned what our initial launch was, because we come up with the fact we needed some more authority, some more experience when it comes to our face-to-face, and let's start off with the hybrid model, which I think is such a good entry-level place. And like, we work with so many coaches that do that, don't we? Like that entry place of, you're comfortable face-to-face, but how can we start getting a second source of income online so we can build the confidence to grow that bad boy out? That's what we did. We did that initial launch. I quit my job that Thursday afternoon. I can still remember the exact conversation with the manager. It was very good what I did in the hardwares in part-time, believe it or not, in the home gym and hardware Samuels. The big boss man, he chatted to me, and I hope he gets to watch this actually. And he said to me, he's like, Cal, I think you're making a wrong decision. I seriously do. You're great at what you do. I managed the whole plumbing department in the back at 18 years of age. I think you're making a wrong decision because your growth in this company over the next 10 to 15 years could look like a real financial growth for you as well. So I had this conversation, and financial growth in plumbing supplies, I know I might crack 60K a year if I'm really, really good in 20 years' time. But the point was, there was a lot of pressure at 18. I had this pressure. I had his eyeballs glaring at me. I had the lady that worked with me in the plumbing department glaring at me. I'm sitting here. I've got passion, vision, what we were doing versus security and a place of pressure around someone that had done me a goodwill too. That boss had actually essentially poached me from another hardware because we were quite good mates. So it was like a conflict of interest and friendship as well. So there was a lot more than just I built a business. There was like pressure for a young man that was financially struggled, work struggle. I pulled the pin. I said, I'm not coming into work. He's like, when are you going to finish up? I'm like, I'm not going to come in tomorrow. So that was a Friday. This launch we organised was Saturday. I had my call scripts ready. I actually got two of my friends locally in the area as well. I'm like, hey, do you want to come down to this gym? I just got to I got my package launched. I got everything ready to go. You want to help me out? So they come down, rocked my initial NDPT was my business called back then, Natural Development Personal Training, and rocked my shirts down, then helped me with just getting the flow up at this open day gym. Long story short, we contracted 39K for PA for the year of training them in a hybrid split model. So it was a fortnightly model that I worked with. Which allowed me to initially, that was my first, do your 39 divided by 52 was around that $600 to $700 a week mark, which was in time for money, literally like over the fortnight, 10 hours a fortnight for work that I was doing versus making more money than I was doing full time. So for me at that age, that was like baller. I was like, this is sick. So I did what I loved, worked up, ran my clients, gave me the hybrid model to be able to do what I loved as well. I love traveling. I really love traveling. So that initial launch got me to be able to travel a lot. I think I hit New Zealand, would have only been, I think I was still in the program.
Yep.
Was I still in the program? I think I was. I think I was just about to leave that weekend. So I kind of made this money. I'm like, because some PIF and some were rolling, and it took off to NZ with the buddies, and they will still remember. I was there with my buddies Ash and Juzzo, and they'll still remember me on the nights we wanted to party. There was a couple of nights I dedicated. I'm like, no, I can't come out tonight, or I'll come out later, because I'd 6:30 p.m. I'd go to the dorm room, I'd sit at the top bunk with my laptop, do my check-ins, stuff like that. Dead ass. I think I still got photos of it. So they understood that. No, he's on this new model. He's got this new venture. So 2 nights a week when I was there, I sat up, did my work for it. So anyway, that was the first initial entry into working with you, dude, and like getting that first started. From there to now, my goodness, like 4 years went pretty fast. I was still PTing. Still PT in the gym, still have my hybrid model. I was still sitting in that real generic float for a long time, which paid me well for what I did. Like in perspective to now, like I wouldn't do it ever, but for the time and what it was like it was awesome. Like I made anywhere from $7,000 to $1,000 a week. Generic coaching clients I had online, clients face to face. It allowed me to move my model from obviously living out of the country, go to the Sunshine Coast, East Coast Australia. Started Jet School in there. And even the managers and stuff there was pretty shocked at the time. They're like, here's this young strapper that's, he's working, he wants a face-to-face job, but like he's already still got like 8 to 10 clients online. Like I just maintained that. And I'd expressed to you so many times, because I remember even in the cartel time, you wanted to see me grow in position 4, because I remember having upsell conversations with you on the phone, and like you wanted the next step for me to be able to go through and like grow this. But at the time, which you would have understood too, like my capacity wasn't there yet. Like my capacity, like all I could see and all I could understand at the time was 5, 10 to 15 online clients, and I'm making $1,000 a week. Like I'm killing it. If I can work wherever, I'm killing it. And I stuck that belief system in my head for years. So got to go to the sunny coast. Had a ball or hybrid model there. Like just work with 10 primo clients. massive shout out to Matt Freeman and Trav. They're still like my OG clients that I love to bits from the Sunny Coast. So I have 10 people that I worked with amazingly, like great face-to-face clients. And I make a big point of that is because what the online model allowed me to do, because I knew I had recurring cash flow in another model, it allowed me to pick and choose what I did in the face-to-face model. Because I know a lot of trainers, will watch this and be like, oh, fuck online, you can only coach face-to-face. Like, dude, that's cool. Like, that's super cool. If you want to coach clients face-to-face, epic. It's so rewarding. But understand that that's your own limiting belief that you can't coach clients online. Because there's a very quality model that's taught to do that. So it allowed you, and it can allow you to have the freedom to, okay, I want to work coach, I want to face-to-face online, but I also want the finances to secure my travel, my mortgage, my family, whatever it may be, in the back end that works well. So then I can enjoy my work. And that's what I had. I had that for 2 years. Had that for 2 years where I just love showing my clients. I created such an awesome brand and a culture inside of a gym in the Sunny Coast. It was so much fun, and have dear friends to this day. But it come to the point where, you and I linked back up. We got to call up the Sunny Coast, and kind of like, Cal, what's been happening? And we both moved to Sunny Coast naturally, and you're frothing on it, just hearing what was going on, and like, dude, couldn't believe it that it still sprouted to what it was. And then when we really linked up, it just, I don't know, I think it was just your presence again. Hey, because at the time I was cruising, having fun, did a heap more traveling throughout this time as well. Went to the States, went to the Philippines, Bali, Korea, the Timor. I spent a couple of months over there, went all over the place. And what happened for this time, and we kind of linked back up, it was must have just been a mental switch. I'm like, okay, here's Chris popping back up in my life, and I'm not sure if it was subconsciously, but I'm like, it pushed me to want to grow. Maybe I don't even remember us having a conversation about it, but I think it was when we started shooting the doco, when we shot the doco in the Sunny Coast. Maybe it was just that environment that was kind of for me. I'm like, hey, this is super cool, and I've made an impact to so many other people in this area as well, along with the other trainers you'd shot with around the world. And so maybe it was that switch, but I remember coming to you then and I said, Chris, didn't I? I was like, fuck it, bro. I want to get big. I want to grow. And it was the necessity.
Because
yeah, go for it.
Really, really important point why I want to showcase to the other coaches what you've achieved is there's two stories that I see in this. There's the first story that is you went from super part-time PT, doing another job, struggling financially, and you were able to build a hybrid model PT business that gave you what you wanted at that time, which was hey, I want to be able to earn, six figures? Let's just call it $100K a year. You want to be able to work on your time frame that you want. And that is all good. Do you know what I mean? I think that's great. But what we've also seen is there is another level, because you can get very complacent at that level also. And that next level is what you've really rocketed towards, which is going and being able to grow towards, do you know what I mean, a 7-figure business, being able to have a business that runs without you. And that's where I think when we link back up and you're like, hey, I want to go big. And I don't know, hopefully it was just my presence that just rocked up, and it maybe was just more of a mirror to you that was you can achieve more. Because I think I really wanted to hammer that home for you. It's dude, you can go so much bigger. I see so much potential. There's so many coaches that I see this being able to go into as well. So what do you think was that switch? Let's say for a coach that's doing 100K now at the moment, what's that switch to make it and go to that next level?
Yeah. Can I just cycle back on something before we jump on that? I'll cover that in a second. I remember what the switch was actually. And it was if I wanted to grow my online out more, I needed to start solving, have one message, have one offer program that we talked about the other day. I launched an online program with the marketing funnels that called the Sustainable Body Blueprint, where I helped women with digestive issues through mucosal line, blah, blah. So I started this hybrid model, got my first 13 clients on there. It was on its way to be 50K plus, in initial sales in bloody 6 weeks. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And it was after that I shut it down, and it's not working. I still got the material for it. But I kind of hit that lull. kept working with generic guys, finished some clients up in the face-to-face industry, and it kind of hit me that flat again, that I was just in the same spot. And I think just seeing that little downfall of something that I tried to grow didn't work or didn't align with me, that kind of got me a bit hungry to be like, what would align with me and what to grow. And that's when the Young Gunz idea come up. That was I want to work with young guys. This is what I was most passionate about with when it comes to training. So when we linked back up and started growing this, rephrase your question again so I can answer that. With the 100K plus.
What's the switch, or what's the thing that was able to actually get you to go from let's call it 100K, do you know what I mean, hybrid fitness business to now what it is, something so much bigger today?
Yeah, gotcha. My favorite saying ever is imperfect action creates momentum, and momentum gives you clarity. And it was the fact that as I began to sign some clients on when I did my initial launch, so let's say like Young Gunz, and I had my few guys there, every imperfect action, i.e. client I got, and every financial bracket I pushed, it started fueling momentum for me. And that momentum got it clearer for me that I'm like, there is growth potential in this. Because let's be real, Chris, everyone thinks, even me floating around that 70 to 80K mark, right? 100K still felt so unachievable.
Yep.
PA. It still felt like that number everyone throws around like it's this big ball of number. But when you break down the math and you look at what's actually going on in the puzzle place, it's not actually that many clients. It's not actually that much acquisition. So what would happen is most of us are brought up with so many financial and growth limiting beliefs. So what the switch was for me, dude, it was I started doing stuff that I wouldn't usually do when it comes to acquiring. I started marketing harder. I started believing in my vision harder. I started really loving what my clients were doing when it comes to results based. And it was the switch for that growth when it comes to okay, sweet, there's massive potential there. And it got clearer. My belief system got clearer around it. So many coaches are so clouded with their limiting belief systems. So as soon as you can start breaking that down and see potential, you start creating the actions to be able to get that growth.
Okay, so what I want to show you right now is I want to walk you through a projection system that we use with Cartel members. This is one of the systems that we use so we know what is your business actually going to be doing, and we can forecast, we can project and make sure that the numbers inside of your business are doing what they need to do, especially when it comes to leads, to sales, and are you charging enough to actually reach the goal of how much money do you want to be able to earn here. So I want to use Callum's exact example right now to walk through so you can understand how this can be applied into your business as well. So let me walk through some of the nitty gritties in this. There's going to be some numbers here. Don't worry about it. It has to be super simple for me to understand. So this is not going to be complex at all. So at the moment, let's say the business is earning $65,000 per month. Now the orange numbers are the things that I change and make sure that we are actually making sure are needed, but I'm going to walk you through how this really works. So the next target is actually making sure that the goal is then going to be us to be able to have 240 new clients signing on over the next 12 months. So that equals about 20 new clients every single month coming on through. The next number we need to be able to actually know very, very importantly is what is your churn rate. So at the moment, the churn rate here of an annual churn rate is 30%, which simply just means 30% of the members that come on are going to be gone by the end of the next 12 months. The next key number to note here is actually the average monthly fee per client. So how much on average does each client pay you? And this is at $300 per month here. And then what we can see, these sales stages and the numbers here. So this is really important and how this applies to you, because you'll see here we're starting at about $65,000 per month. And in a year's time, we're going to be doing well over $100,000 per month and equaling a $1.33 million business just by following these numbers. And so what are the numbers? So we have applications of people applying in to talk to you, people having a conversation with you, people then having a sales conversation with you, and then people confirming on and that actual conversion rate as well. So on roughly with the numbers, we are looking at 70% of the people that apply to talk to you are going to have a first conversation with you. Then 70%, and these are actually the real numbers going on in the business as well. So this is what we know is actually forecasted through. So 70% of the people that have that first conversation go into a sales conversation, and then 70% of the people that have that sales conversation sign on as a client. So this means with the current business, we know that there needs to be 700 applications over the year to know that we can sign on 240 clients in the year. So if we have 700 applications, we know there's going to be 490 first conversations. We know there's going to be 343 sales conversations, and we know that 343 sales conversations turn into 240 new clients. So the really important thing to understand here is we can track month by month, are we hitting the numbers and are we growing? Because we know that we're starting at about $65,000 this month. We know in 5 months' time, we're going to be at nearly $80,000 a month. We know in 12 months' time, we're going to be just shy of $105,000 per month. And the only thing we really need to continue to look at is, are we getting the leads? Are we hitting the leads per month? Are we hitting the conversion points throughout our sales pipeline? And then we know that we're going to get to the end goal. So here is a little breakdown of behind the scenes, what is happening in the business to go from someone that was doing good to someone that's going to be doing great and having a 7-figure business. Okay, I absolutely love this. So let's highlight this. What was the biggest problems you were actually facing going from mediocre to great?
Mediocre to breakthrough. My struggle, I think, is the same as most other trainers and coaches that want to do something online. And I'll tell you the switch moment for this that helped me break through with it was, floating around in my biz, I was never super clear about what my offer and message was. Gosh, that's so important. I was never super clear about what my offer and message was. And it was after, I had the pleasure to go down with you to, and you took me along down to Taki's Black Belt event down in Sydney. I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting in the noob bracket, I called it. I felt so crap. I'm like, damn it, I'm in the lowest belt grade here with everyone at the stage. But when he nailed home, one message, one offer, one conversion system, one delivery, up until 7 figs, it blew my brain. I'm like, this guy's got it simple, and I've got to keep it simple. So after that, getting back on the plane from Sydney, as you were hooked in listening to an audiobook, what was I doing? I was bloody scribbling on this A4 piece of paper, designing out what my one offer was going to be, what my conversion system was going to be. And it blasted. I just had all this flying on the plane. I mapped out the figures on how I was going to get here, how I was going to bust well over 6 figures, all that sort of jazz. And bada bing, bada boom, that exact offer, that exact conversion system over 2 years ago is literally what I still use in my business today, obviously just revamped and optimized. So the biggest issue coaches go when it comes to getting to that next level is not being hyper specific and hyper clear about what they actually want to solve. Because if you've got a person and you can continually solve problems for someone, they're going to be there all day, every day, as long as you have the systems in play. Yeah. Biggest thing.
Amazing. And so, okay, so let's give context into what does the business look like today? Actually, before we hit the record button, we're jumping up and down about some major, revelations that you've had. Can you explain to the coaches what is actually going on? How does your business actually run today? And what is it that you do inside of the business now?
Yeah, hell yeah. So first of all, what we have here, our coaching business is amazing. First of all, what we actually deliver is phenomenal. We coach guys anywhere from 13 to early 20s. We coach them with fitness, but we use fitness and coaching online as the main driver to help things with low confidence, self-worth, insecurities, and jazz. So our model's amazing as it is, but where we are at now, what I've been able to do is I realized sitting in the shoes of coaching, marketing, sales, doing all of the things myself, held me back and capped me at clients once again. Capped me. I couldn't make the impact I wanted. I wrote on my vision. It's still in my PDFs to this day. Our mission is to help over 1,000 teen guys across Australia build confidence. So that vision was it's staple there. So when I knew that goal was there, I couldn't do that by myself. I can't do that by myself. It's insane. So what I began to do is people started coming to play life, and I started looking at what it would look like to outsource. Who are the right players that I bring in here so I can focus more on what I need to do to grow? And a coach has to come to this position, and they always will reach this position. Once you start hitting those finances of anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 a month, you'll notice with your lead flow, your sales, and your delivery, it starts becoming pretty high stress. Your scale goes, like your Richter scale is like up. You're pinging, is what I would say. You're burning out. You're on your way there still. So having someone there that can actually take over the brand and is ingrained with the belief of what you do in your coaching allows you then to start positioning employees. Employees, team members, people that also see what you need to grow. So important. Don't just hire every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Like people that actually see what you want to do. So what I was able to do then is my best buddy that was kind of always watching. He always admired what I did in my coaching business. He always loved what he did with online fitness, and he was always blown away at what I could do and deliver. He began to fall in love with the model as another young guy. So big shout out to Mitchie because he's now running full-time operations management with us. So he started in coaching, rotating sales roles, trial where he's at. Now he manages our team. And in our team, we now have our admin that runs, or our marketing director, Faz. So she runs everything when it comes to content planning. So that's our back-end emails, our lead nurture, our content plans across Monday to Friday. She looks after all of that. Also does any strategy sessions, consultations within clients inside of the program. So the parents, if they've got a gem wants something with us, because obviously they finance all the young guys that are in our program. A second thing we've got is, so Mitch is ops management, full-time coaching. So touch points coaches with all the boys. So that gets me out of the coaching role. So I can just focus on the deliverables for that. So he does full-time coaching with the boys, builds those relationships, trains clients. He trains clients just like any else would in a coaching program. We've also got, we're lucky enough to partner with an amazing Australian company as well, where we've got a team member, Jono, who looks after some financing departments for us in sales as well. So he's able to check out, follow up clients for their subscription bases. Have they fulfilled invoices? Are they paying us money for us to be able to deliver? And then also, we've just recently brought on Tab. And Mr. Tab, he is our guy in front end sales. And I don't like the word sales because if you can get your marketing pipeline good enough, he conducts meetings, Chris. That's what he does. So, he conducts meetings to enroll people into the program. So now I'm at the position where when I can sit back. What's the time now? 11:12 a.m. 27th of April 2021. And we're sitting here in a coffee shop, and I know for a fact that there will be content delivered out. I know people will be getting set up in triage appointments. I know there is people booked in sales calendars. I know that there's clients getting coached right now. I know clients getting looked after with their deliverables. And we have a machine now that I press buttons and look after marketing flow in controlling the taps, controlling the physical taps of, do we want more clients? Do we want less clients? So a team has allowed me to focus on what are the main levers that build this business and grow this business faster. Did I ever think that little old me, doing PTs and stuff, would have a team, including me, a team of 5 to look at running a fit biz? No, there's not many other online coaches out there that have teams. They're, as we always talk about, most of them are glorified jobs. Most trainers and online coaches are glorified jobs because there hasn't been a system in place to grow. And we're actually looking at bringing our 5th team member in about 8 weeks' time, based on our KPIs and scale and growth. We'll have a second coach to pull in so they can coach probably the next 40 clients under that system as well. So it's been a big couple of years from what was once an idea to now a raging beast in the market, and very well and truly getting known as one of the best youth coaching programs in Australia right now.
It's amazing, dude. I'm
in fitness.
So good. And so what do you think your biggest recommendations are for the other coaches that want to achieve what you've gotten to today?
Oh, man. It's recommendations. If you're a PT and you want more, and this isn't about, just thinking about it, like I'm a PT, like if you're content doing what you will, no matter how hard you try, you're not going to grow. Okay. So it's like, don't go to this place of like, I've got all these massive things I want to do if you don't really want it. So my first thing would be looking at what's your true reason to grow? Do you want more money? Do you want more money? More money and more impact, like those two things are going to equal your ultimate fulfillment. Stew on that. Do I want it? And then if you do want it, start taking practical action steps. The online game, Chris, it's hard work. It's hard initial work to get it up. a lot of people won't talk about that and just talk about easy systems. No, we've got systems, we've got a mental play you've got to do here. But if you want to do it, the practical steps are actually start getting imperfect action. So it gets you clearer. That gives you gives you momentum. The clearer you get with it, allows you to start actually growing to where you want to be. So practical steps too, I would be looking at, do I actually want it? Yes. If I do want it, now I need to actually seek out someone that's done this before. I need to seek out someone that's actually walked these steps, because I can guarantee right now I would just absolutely not be doing what I was doing if it wasn't for we ever needed. It wasn't for the sake of your ads circulating and you coaching and serving the way you did all the way back then. No way I would ever be doing what I would be now. Even I have a level of awareness of what was going on. So if you're a coach right now, as you guys probably know as well, like, I'm jamming inside the cartel. I'm able to give all my systems and all my love and all my stories to be able to help other coaches as well. Like, let's have a conversation. That's all I could urge, Chris, because if anyone's has thoughts about it, just to have a simple conversation on what the growth looks like and are you coachable? Are you a good enough coach to make it in the game? Like, that's a conversation you've got to have with an expert that's actually built a business. Not someone that used to, not someone that is good at marketing, not someone that is a coach at the footy club. No, someone that runs a online fitness coaching business. You have to have a conversation with of whether you've got the ability to scale and grow the system. That's my recommendation. Have a bloody chat.
Yeah, like, it's so important to be able to have all of the systems put together. And I think that's what so many people are missing right now, is they literally have like maybe one thing. And another training we're going to record this week actually is like lead generation. Do you know what I mean? Like, how are you actually generating leads and showing behind the scenes as to how you can have so many leads that turn into so many sales, that turn into so many clients, that mean you can easily grow and scale a team as well. And I think that's just really simple. So what I'll do as well, for everyone that's tuned in with us, I'll pop a link below so you can book in a chat with us, just to make sure if you do want to be able to get access to the systems and the plans and exactly what Callum's been able to follow, then you'll just need to click on that link and book in a time for a quick chat on that one. Cal, what do you reckon is one more nugget you want to leave everyone with before we bounce for today?
One more nugget. My nugget for you is, I do not care what I hear any other biz coach say, any other fit pro, any other organic growth systemized master. There is no faster way you will predictably grow your coaching business without the use of paid advertising. Learn a skill set that is autonomous, that systemizes and brings massive volumes of attention to your business, and the growth you can grow that in and how predictably you can scale something is phenomenal. I physically could not employ team members at assertive and positional times that I need to in my business if it wasn't for paid advertising and knowing what sort of lead flow we're going to create in our system. That's my nugget. If you're not running ads, if you're not doing that for business and you've got a good message and offer, let's have a chat and look at what it actually looks like to create a system to get this happening. Because I don't know about you, I quite like knowing that there's calls booked in every single week in my calendars and predictably understand what it looks like to run a business. As I always say, and as I say to every one of my epic IC clients, is just like we go to the supermarket to buy the bananas, that's how we want our customers coming to us. We don't want to be, the bananas don't jump out of the store and run to us and jump into our back pockets, do they? No, we have to go buy the bananas. So we want our prospects coming to us to buy what we have when it comes to it. So that's my big nugget. Ads, gang, ads. Get good at them.
So for everyone, if you want people to come buy you just like they buy bananas, and you want to make sure you have the same systems and plans, Callum, a couple of follow, click the link below, book in your free strategy session, and we'll be able to hopefully take you out from there. Worst case scenario, you take the plan that we write up for you and you run with it. Best case scenario, we'll be able to help you implement it, and Callum will be there also step by step through it as well.
It's really been unbelievable. The whole experience has been amazing. We love you guys. We are so appreciative and so blessed that we found you. And we're just excited. We're so excited for the things to come.
Honestly, joining the Coaches Cartel has been the best decision I ever made in my career. Hands down. They gave me the right mentorship and information that I was thirsting for.
What was super cool was just getting to know Chris the guy, Chris the dad, Chris the business owner, chats over coffees, And that's when I think you really realise that hey, this is the real deal and this is the place to be. This is going to have an impact on your life, your relationships. You're going to earn a stack load more money and you're going to have a bigger impact on the world.
Chris is amazing at what he does. I mean, he will give you that system, that process, even to the point where he will give you the messaging or a template that puts out, has such a quick response for people, gets people back into your business, having a conversation. And I just found the biggest thing was the guidance around some of these little steps.
Now I get to work from home, support my wife, and actually do the work that I love because I'm helping other people and impacting their lives whilst having the freedom to be able to live life on my terms.
If you've been struggling for a long time to get the results you've been looking for, then it's time to put your ego down and hire a coach and let him take you through the proven process. And Chris is the man to do that.
I was a bit skeptical about it at the start. I'm so happy I did. I have ×5 my weekly income because I am able to now work only 8 hours, but more efficiently and more effectively. You have to think about your future here. If you're feeling a little bit skeptical about it, just think to yourself, why not have financial freedom now? I wish I did it sooner, trust me. Do it and you will not regret it.